Yo, what's going on, Remedy Church, man? I am so excited, man, to be before you today. Listen, today is actually going to be just a little bit different. Hey, how about this? Happy Cinco de Mayo to those who may be of the Hispanic persuasion, particularly the Mexican persuasion that's a part of our family here within the Remedy Nation. I was telling my family, I said, we had Taco Tuesday, but we're absolutely having Taco Wednesday today too, because we celebrate and we love this Hispanic flow. My wife is Hispanic, and so we just like to honor you guys. Anyway, where did that come from? Listen, we have just concluded a series titled Habits, the Cycle Creator. And from what I'm understanding, from the information that I'm getting, from the reviews, if you must, that I'm getting, people are saying that it has been healthy to hear about some things that they may have not known about, may not have known were habits, and they found them. Not only did they find them, they are starting to target them so that they can actually get better. First week, and you see it on the screen, I talked about doubt. The next week, I talked about control. The week after that, I talked about quick decisions. And then lastly, I just spoke about the habit of being available. So 3 negative habits, but I wanted to end on a positive note because I truly believe that no one person is all negative, and then no one person is all positive. None of us are terrible, but then none of us are just perfect in everything that we do. We're a mixture of both. Seeing that I ended our series this past Sunday, I didn't want to necessarily pick it up, but just kind of recap and talk about some things that I may have not addressed throughout this particular series. One is this idea of a recurring issue. Some rhetoric, church rhetoric that we use is sometimes not explained. And so we'll use things like, that's your thorn. And then if you're from the street, you're thinking to yourself, a thorn. A thorn is something that you have on a branch or something of that nature. Like, no, a thorn. A thorn is this idea of some reoccurring issue that you're dealing with. Some of us, and I'm always honest with the things that I deal with. One of my thorns is this idea of arrogance, or this idea of an issue with pride. And so over the years before I came into the pastorate, before I became an elder and things of that nature, I had to do so much damage control concerning my thorn. Is the thorn gone? No. But you'll hear me kind of talk about what the thorn does. And then after that, listen to me, after we get finished having a brief conversation about this, what I really want you to do is enjoy the day, but enjoy the day with worship. Our team, India, she is over our worship team. She's our worship director, and she is phenomenal in the way that she picks the flow of worship. And a few months ago, we actually did kind of like an online concert. And many of you who are watching right now, you may have not been a part of our community then. So after I finish talking today, I'm going to play that concert, and then I'm going to pick up after Mother's Day with a new series. But today, here it is. Today's topic, if I had to give it one, it would be this. I have an issue with this issue. See, this is what I truly believe, that if you don't start having issues with the things that plague your life, things that makes your life problematic, then the reality is that you're kind of giving it permission to stay there. I have an issue with my issues. I have an issue with my mind if I'm thinking things that aren't of God. I have issues with my body if I'm not working out the way that I need to work out. I'm having issues with my issues. I'm having issues when my pride seems to rise up to a level that I don't want my pride to rise up to. I am having issues with my issue. And so here it is when I start talking about the thorn, this thing that you deal with on a consistent basis. How do I identify my thorn, Pastor? Here it is. If you don't know exactly what it is, what I would say is listen to those who are around you. Listen to those who are around you. And in so many ways, they've told you what it is, but you haven't caught on to the fact that they told you. So for me, when I was coming up, people would say, you full of yourself. But I didn't caught on that was my thorn. They would say, boy, your head is big. And even though I have a nice sized head, I mean, you look at my son and I, we have nice size heads. But that's not what they meant. They said I was full of myself. And so over the years, if I would have listened, I would have been able to identify my thorn earlier, because the sooner you identify your thorn, the quicker you are to be able to walk into the fullness of God. So I didn't catch on then. It took me until I really came into my collegiate and really came to church and started focusing more on God that I realized what it is. So listen, if you don't know exactly what it is, then that may be it. What could it be? It could be your proclivity to alcohol. It could be your proclivity to the opposite sex. It could be your attraction to the same sex. It could be your mindset to always cheat and steal and rob the system. It could be many things, confrontational all the time, always thinking that someone is out to get you. This is stuff. These are the things that you want to look for, and Paul talks about it. Paul talks about it in 2 Corinthians. Here it is. It says, because of this extraordinary greatness of the revelations, for this reason to keep me from exalting myself, there was given to me a thorn in my flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me, to keep me from exalting myself. See, I was listening to this interview with Bishop Jakes and with Stephen Furtick. And Bishop Jakes, he said something, I'm paraphrasing at best. To a degree, he said, my thorn keeps me balanced. My thorn keeps me balanced. Meaning that when Paul says in 2 Corinthians that this thing is in my flesh so that I don't exalt myself, meaning that if it wasn't in my flesh, if I wasn't dealing with this issue, then truth be told, I would think more of myself than I should. And I wouldn't give God the credit that he deserves for the things that happen in my life. See, because I know I am flawed, and because I know I deal with certain issues, and because I know that I deal with certain thorns, I can't take full credit. I cannot take full credit for everything that has happened in my life, because if it was up to my issue and my thorn, I wouldn't have anything. See, that's how God works. He allows everything that you go through, everything that you are, including your issue, play a part, but he is so good that despite your issue, despite your thorn, despite your problematic lifestyle, he continues to give us blessings. That's what Paul is saying. He's saying, man, listen, without this thorn, I would exalt myself. I would think too highly of myself, and I would not give credit to God. So reality is without my thorn, I would be imbalanced. If it was a weighing scale, I would always be high. I would always weigh and tip the scale. But because of my thorn, I have to always depend on God. And so that keeps the level even. So I am balanced because of my issues. And because of my issues, I'm able to always depend on God. So I'm not going to ask a question right now, but what I am going to do is I'm going to present you with a few questions at the end that you can kind of talk about with your family before we go into worship. Then as we pick up, Isaiah says something in chapter 14, and I believe that it's worth noting. You said to yourself, I'll climb to the heavens. I'll set my throne over the stars of God. I'll run the assembly of angels that meets on sacred Mount Zaphon. I'll climb to the top of the clouds. I'll take over as king of the universe. This is why we need to stay balanced. Because if we don't stay balanced, we'll convince ourselves that we are on the same level of God, that everything that's good that's in our life is because of something that we've did, decisions that we've made. Well, I went to go get my education. Truth be told, there were plenty of classes and plenty of times where you didn't pay attention, but yet and still you still passed. What was that? That was God. How about the fact that you found scholarship money just hidden in pockets within our government? How did you think that happened? That was revealed to you by God. And so it wasn't you and all the research, because there are plenty of people who could have taken advantage of the things that you took advantage of. Do you think all of this loan money, PPP money, was all just because of a decision that a man made? Or was God saying that there was so much stuff going on in the world that, hey, you took care of your business, you are stewarding your wealth properly, or I want you to start stewarding your wealth properly. So it is not just on what you did, it's about what I can do for you, but it keeps you balanced so that you don't look back and find yourself in this Isaiah 14 moment where you find yourself trying to measure yourself up to a God that is immeasurable. You cannot do what he does. And the reason why I'm always trying to push you to find him is because once you find him, you will understand how much you need him. How much you need him. So the way that this thorn it works is that if you don't find it, listen to me, and Lord knows I'm telling the truth for those who have lived more than a day. If you don't find out what your issues are, it'll start affecting other places in your life. I got down here on my notes that it will be like a domino effect. That slowly but surely, if you don't find your thorn will then knock over some things in your marriage. And once your marriage is messed up, your marriage will start knocking over things in your finances. And once your finances are messed up, it'll start knocking over things in your relationships. And once relationships are messed up, it'll start knocking over things within your parenthood and your business and your... Listen, I'm telling you now that if you don't find it, it's like a thorn. It's like a thorn. It hurts. It'll become messy. It's like a domino effect. So the reason why I'm always pushing people to figure out what they deal with is because I don't want their entire life to be dismantled due to one thing that they did not find. Look over your life. Is it your inability to see yourself the way that God sees you? Is that your thorn? Then no matter how much people speak into you, you cannot believe that you are as good as they claim you are or can be because of the things that you've happened in your life. And so now that affects your ability to come up at your job because you never apply for the promotion because you don't think you're even good enough for the position that you have now. So why apply for the promotion? And it all started with this thorn and this idea that you are not called by God. Thorns. Is it your appetite to be physically pleased that is causing you to go after men, women, that will give you satisfaction for a day but won't satisfy your mind, and then you pass over those who will take their time and really cultivate a true relationship because you are so caught up on satisfying your flesh that you will never get the chance to meet the person that God had formed and created for you? Is that your thorn? Because one thing that I can tell you is that if you choose not to find your thorn, it will cause pain. But how about this? On the antithesis, if you choose to find your thorn, about to sound crazy, it will also cause pain. But here's the difference. There's a difference between the pain of finding your thorn and healing versus the pain from not finding your thorn and then allowing something to fester and to irritate you. This is how I got it in my notes. There's a difference between the pain that comes with a healing process and the pain that comes due to an unattended issue. See, the reality is that when you find your weakness, when you find what you deal with, your struggles, it allows God to actually be big in your life. It actually allows him to do something great in your life. Like the Bible talks about all the time, in your weakness, I am strong. So let me make an announcement that your weakness is your strength. That your weakness, that thing that you thought was going to take you out, it is actually the thing that allows you to go to God more. Well, I'm always thinking about this, and I'm always messing up, and well, if you're always doing something, or if you're always thinking away, or if you're always tempted, then that means in those always moments, you should always be trying to figure out where God is. So in those always moments, I'm always thinking about watching stuff that I don't need to watch. Well, every time you think about it, you should be pulling on God. So then that makes you stronger. So then every time your weakness reveals its head, then that's your opportunity to say, God, I need you to strengthen me versus me going and indulging in the things that I know that I don't want to indulge in. That is the way that it's set up. Your weakness is your strength. You deplete everything of you so that God can fill you up. That's how you get away from the habits. That's how you get away from creating negative cycles. Why? Because what you want to start doing is you want to start creating positive cycles. You want to start praying more. You want to start being better at your morning devotions. You want to get better at serving. You want to get better at loving on your wife and speaking affirmations into your husband. You want to get better at being the parent of the year at school. You want to get better at taking care of your body and working out on a consistent basis. You want to get better, not thinking about things that will take you back to a place and now you feel like you've been there so long you can't get out. You want to get better. You want to create better habits. Habits aren't bad. The only thing that's bad are the things that take you away from God. So if your habits incorporates things that take you away from God, that's when I say you need to create better habits. Habits, the cycle creator. So in concerns with what you have going on today that we've talked about, the whole Thorn piece, there are three things, and we're just going to present them. We're not necessarily going to give you time today, but I want you to write these three questions down, three questions that I want you to consider. The first is this: what is a reoccurring thorn or issue that you have dealt with in your life? And if you don't know right now, that's fine. You don't have to type it in today. You don't have to type it in, but I really want you to sit down and introspectively look over your life and say that may be an issue. Do you have an issue with authority? See, you've masked it in the name of leadership. So I'm a leader. I'm always thinking ahead. Everybody, every time I come on the scene, they want to follow me. And so you've told yourself that you are such a quote unquote great leader when the real issue is that you can't listen to people because every time they tell you what to do, you take it as them bossing you around versus guiding you into your destiny. So it's not that you're such a great leader, it's just that you have an issue with authority. So now you've seen over the last 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, 30 years, where you could have come up in some places, but because you have issues that you haven't dealt with, you can't become everything that God has called you to be. Issues with authority could be a thorn. What is a reoccurring thorn that you have dealt with in your life? Here's the second question. What is God teaching you about yourself in the midst of your issue? See, for me, once I realized that I had an issue with the way that I saw myself, pride, ego, whatever you want to call it, the thing that God taught me was this. He taught me that I am not good. I am not that good in order to pull myself out of some of the things that he pulled me out of. That's just truth. I'm not that good. I'm not that good. And so he had to tell me this. Hey, do you remember? Do you really think it was your effervescent personality that took you from the shelters? Do you think it was your outgoing and witty way of speaking that really helped you matriculate through a high school, maybe in a neighborhood that people may not even want to step foot in, and you came out unscathed? Do you think it was something that you did that made a woman find you and give you a scholarship that, truth be told, your grades didn't even deserve? Do you really think it was who you are that found this beautiful wife and then allowed yourself to have this beautiful church? No. And if you think it is, you are the most arrogant person in the world, Deontay Lavender. But it helps me understand I'm not as good as I've given myself credit to be over the years. That's why when people say you're such a good pastor or you're such a good leader or you're such a good communicator, I say, man, all glory be to God. It is not me being falsely humble. It is really me saying that all glory needs to be to him, because I can only do but so much off my natural and raw talent. What is God teaching you? And then last but not least, are you allowing your life to be a vehicle that exalts God rather than yourself, similar to what Paul was saying? The reason why he had to find and figure out the thorn in his flesh is because he understood that if he didn't have that thorn, he would exalt himself versus exalting God. So if you do have an issue, are you working the system in a way that the issue, it won't bring you down? Because as soon as you find out what the issue is, you bring God up. Listen, that's honestly all that I have for you today. I know it was a little short, but the reality is that we want to crystallize what we've talked about throughout the entire month of April. We want to crystallize it with worship. One way that I feel, this is what I truly feel, I'm not just making this up, the way that I felt like I broke many of my habits was by what I ingested throughout the week. Because whatever I ingest, I have to digest. So whatever I put in, I then have to allow that to take its place and work within my system. And so what I did was, the first thing I did when I became a Christian was I cut what came into my ear gates. So I cut certain music, I cut certain conversations with people, I cut certain communications with people, because I understood that the enemy was constantly trying to attack my mind. That's why I'm always having conversations with you on Wednesdays. That's why I'm always trying to push you to another level. Why? Because it is important that you understand what you put in would eventually come out. So I want to crystallize this with worship, because worship has gotten me out of so many places. Play a worship song, you won't go over there at night. Play a worship song, you won't think certain thoughts. Play a worship song, you won't have certain conversations. Why? Because it is God speaking to your heart, and it's giving you the opportunity to speak through him through song. And we have a beautiful team of individuals who sacrifice on a consistent basis, and I want to give them shine. Put it up right now. This is the Remedy Worship's Instagram handle. Go follow them. They always have positive content throughout the week, and I believe that it's worth following. If you can follow Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Kanye West, and whoever else who don't necessarily believe the way that we believe, who don't put on content that feeds your soul, I believe that these individuals will be able to help you. Before we go off, and you'll see it flash a few times during the worship set, one, if you don't know Jesus, please allow him to do a great work in your life. I believe that there is none greater than him. I believe that he is the answer to every problem. That he's the solution to every issue. That's what I believe, and I'll stand on it until the day that I die. And then last but not least, you guys know that we are constantly trying to do kingdom work and kingdom ministry. That being said, please continue to give. Last week's giving was amazing. Literally, I'm not joking. When I say amazing, it was amazing. And I thank you guys for continuously believing in my wife and I say this all the time, believing in our staff, believing in our team to steward your gifts properly. As worship is going, you will see it flash a few times, but you won't see me again. So this is me saying goodbye, and I love you. I love you so much. But God, he loves you more. I'll see you a little bit later. Peace.
Abundantly, above all that we ask or think. Exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we ask or think. Exceedingly, abundantly, above all we ask or think. Exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we ask or think. saturate this place. We say yes. We say yes. Woo. Come on. God, we say yes. God, we say yes. Come on, keep it. God, you have my yes. Yeah. God, you get my yes. Lord, here's my yes. You get all of my yes. God, so here's my yes. Think about it tonight. Lord, here's my yes. Come on, sing that with me. Say, Lord, Lord, here's my yes. Come on. Come on, let's declare that tonight. Come on, say, Lord, here's my yes. Come on, it doesn't matter what you're going through. Give him your yes. Come on. Lord, here's my yes. Come on, y'all. Let's get free tonight. Let's sing out. Say, Lord, here's my yes. Come on, let's keep saying it this time. Here we go. Say, Lord, here's my yes. Lord, here's my. Lord, here's my. Lord, here's my yes. Lord, here's my yes. Lord, here's my yes. You get all of me. Lord, here's my. You get all of me. Lord, here's my. You get all of me. Lord, here's my. You get all of me. Lord, here's my yes. Come on, let's just give him your yes. Come on. Give him your yes, because he told you yes when he was on the cross. Come on. When he was on the cross, he said yes for you. He said, yes, my son. Yes, my daughter. My love for you ran red. Yes. Here is all of me. We just give you our yes, God. Yes, God. I'm moved by the way you love me. I'm moved by the passion in your eyes when you're thinking of me. I'm moved by the way you love me. I'm moved by the passion in your eyes when you're thinking of me. When they held you high, they stretched you high. Still inside, you were thinking of me. When they left you to die and laughed at dark skies, still inside, you were thinking of me. Your love for me ran red. Your love for me ran red. Your love for me ran red. Oh, your love for me ran red. Your love for me ran red. Your love for me ran red. Let me sing that. Say, I'm moved. I'm moved by the way you love me. Say, I'm moved by the passion. I'm moved by the passion in your eyes when you're thinking of me. Moved by the way you love me. God, I'm moved by the passion in your eyes. I'm moved by the passion in your eyes when you're thinking of me. Say, when they held you, stretched you wide, still inside, you were thinking of me. When they left you to die and laughed at dark skies, on, still inside.
Still inside, you were thinking of
Sing it out, let's say, your love for me,
your love for me, red, red. Your love for me, red, red. Your love for me, red, red. Oh, oh.
See your love
for me, red, red. Your love for me, red, red. Your love for me, red, red. Oh, oh.
One more time.
Your love for me, red, red. Your love for me, red,
You
red.
paid it all.
Your love for me, red, red.
One more time, say.
Your love for me, red, red.
For me.
Your love for me, red, red.
Come on.
Your love for me, red, red. Oh, oh.
You paid it all, so we could be with you forever. God, you paid it all, so we could be with you. Let me say it.
You paid it all,
So we could be
so we could be
with you. Come on.
with you forever.
Say you paid it all.
You paid it all,
So we could be.
so we could be
Come on.
with you.
Let's take it up. Say you paid it all.
You paid it all,
So we could be. Yeah.
so we could be
With you.
with you
One more
forever.
time. Say
Paid it all,
so we could be. Yeah.
so we could
With you.
with you.
Come on, let's say.
Your love for me,
Your
red,
love
red.
for me,
Your love for me,
Your
red,
love
red.
for me,
Your love for me, red, red. Oh,
One more time.
your love for me, red, red. Your love for me,
Your
red,
love
red.
for me,
Your love for me, red, red.
And I know I don't deserve it, but you said I'm worth it. Jesus, Jesus, I know I'm not worth it, but you said I'm worth it. 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 No matter the cost, no matter the cost, no matter the cost. Come on, y'all. You said I'm worth it. You said I'm worth it. God, you said I'm worth it. No matter the cost, no matter the cost, no matter the cost. Y'all help me sing that. Help me sing, come on.
You said I'm worth it. You said I'm worth it. You said I'm worth it.
Come on. No matter the cost, come on.
No matter the cost,
Come on.
no matter the cost, no matter the cost.
It doesn't matter what you look like.
You said I'm worth it.
Come on.
You said I'm worth it. You said I'm worth it.
Come on. No matter the cost.
No matter the
No
cost,
matter the cost.
matter the
No
cost.
matter the cost.
No matter the
No
cost.
matter the cost.
matter the
No
cost.
matter the cost. No 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 matter the cost. He'll pull you out. You've been worth it. No matter the cost. No matter the cost. He loves you. He loves you. He loves you. No matter the cost. 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 He'll pull you out. You've been worth it. No matter the cost. 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 Keep saying it. He did it. No matter the cost. Hey, no matter the cost. He said, I see you, I know you, I've called you, no matter the cost. He said, I've seen that, still calling you, no matter the cost. He said, my blood has covered it. Oh, now you know, no matter the cost. 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 Lord, we just thank you that no matter the cost, God, you come and you seek us out in the darkest places and in the darkest spaces, and you call us out. No matter how far, no matter how dark, no matter how long, He's capable of coming and pulling you out because He paid it all just to get you out, just so you can live again. I know this has been a hard year. And some of us felt like we just died. We spiritually died. We physically died. Some of us caught things and it was like, wow, this feels like death. Or you've gone through a season and it's like, man, this feels like death. This is death. But God said, oh, I got up on the cross just so you could come back. Just so you could recover. I know you've been sick, but I'm the remedy. I'm the one that's gonna pull you back. So Lord, we just thank you for pulling us back, for being the remedy, for being the things that we need the most: peace, safety, health. We thank you. We just thank you right now, Lord, as we all just lift our hands, God, and we invite you in wherever they're watching from. Lord, we just ask that you come through this screen right now and you go into their cars or you go into their houses, wherever they may be watching from, their computer screens, and fill their room with you. Whatever they're going through right now, Lord, help them, Lord. Lord, we just thank you, we love you, we bless you. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.